Hello and welcome back. I'm David from digitalbyte.com. This is video number 2, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the jQuery's Ajax function. So I went ahead and already created ourselves a home web page. This one here is in the HTML format because we're not going to be doing any PHP calls on this site here. We're going to create another file which is going to have the PHP extension. And that's the file we're going to get our jQuery's Ajax function to call and post the response into our content from depending on which header, which navigation button that we click on. So this is basically what I've went ahead and created. So this one here is important. You have to include this one here. So this line here includes the Ajax actual file. So that's 1.8.2. jQuery file. This file here is hosted using this file is hosted on Google server, and we can basically just include it either HTTPS or just HTTP, doesn't really matter. And when we close off the script, that's all you really need to do. All you need to do is just include it. And then from this one here, and I've went ahead and created a basic style. So a wrapper is basically wrapping all of our headers, content, and footers and all that. I've given it a margin of 150 pixels automatically, so that's going to put it into that's going to put our web page in the middle of our screen. I've given it a width of 900 pixels, so that's about standard for most websites. They usually float around the 900 pixels for width. Header and wrapper, I've just given it a color so we can see what's going on when we preview. And then we close off our header, and we've opened up the body tag, and we've opened up the few div tags. So wrapper, once again, this here is going to be wrapping everything inside that we're going to be displaying on the screen. Then I went ahead and created a header. Within the header, we've got it's basically those dot points, and then within the dot points, and I went ahead and created this tag called UL, and then once again within the UL it's LI, and that's basically dot points. So that's just, for example, it's just going to say dot point home, new dot point home, new line, dot point details, new line, dot point shop, and then as many as you go. And you can change the way they look and all that, all to do with styling, and that's another tutorial. And then I've created a div called content, and that's where we're going to be placing our website's content. Once again, closing off the wrapper, and then I've opened up a script tag, and that's where we're going to put our Ajax call function, and then we've ended the body HTML, we've ended there. So once we click one of these dot points, it's going to use JavaScript to call a onClick function. And to do that, we basically have to put a space here and type in onClick. So when that is pressed down, it's going to call a function. Make sure you've got that capital C there, equals, and then you've got your quotes. And then basically we're going to be calling a function. We haven't made a function yet, so we will be putting a function down here, but for now we're just going to call our function getPage. And we're going to be passing a variable on, so we need bracket and then end bracket. Then within that we have to use quotes again, but this time single quotes because it has to be different from the double quotes. And then here we just have to say, I'm going to be copying that and say home. This method here, it's static, like we have to hard code it in. You can sort of do this if you wanted to. You could have done this dynamically with PHP or some other method, or once again Ajax can call a PHP script and it will send back the new header. But for now we're just going to do it statically. So once again we're just going to copy the onClick, paste, change this to details, change the last one to shop. Okay, to continue on, we're going to be starting our scripting down here for our Ajax function, we're going to be creating a function because we did our onClick, and we need to specify, and we specified a function called getPage, but we haven't created that yet, so let's get started. To do so, you have to type in function. So once we've entered in our function, and we've given it, and then we gave it a test function called alert. So basically, once we head over to our browser, here's our demo. So if we were to refresh this page, our content disappears because we deleted it. But once we click one of these functions here, it should fire off that alert. Just to make sure it's working twice as well, we're going to so we've actually. So once we click once we're clicking on click for example home, we're calling the function and we're passing on a value, but we're not picking up the value yet. But we're going to do that just in a sec. So we're going to say link name. And that link name is going to correspond to whatever's being passed on to. And you can specify as many as you want by selecting comma and then just keep on going. But you have to remember it has to be in the same order as well. So it'll be quote and it just keeps on going, and it goes in the same order. Okay, so once we specified a name to pass on, we can add it onto our string by clicking on plus. So what you're doing is you're adding. So you got your string here, and you're going to be adding on a JavaScript name. So you don't have to put that around quotes. But we have to specify its name. I'm going to give it a space there, so we know. And equals, so that we know what it is when we fire off the function in browser. So we're going to save that, head back into our document using Firefox or Google Chrome, I recommend. Refresh the page, hit the home, it tells us home, details, it's telling us details, and shop, it's telling us shop. So now we know that our jQuery is working, our function is firing, and now we can get started with our Ajax. Okay, to get Ajax underway, we have to delete our alert function, so we know it works, and we have to set up our Ajax. To do so, we start by doing $.Ajax. And it's going to put a single bracket there. Once it's put in a bracket, we also need a curly bracket. Hit enter a few times, curly bracket again, normal bracket, and semicolon. So it should create a block for Ajax. Once we've done that, hit enter a few times, and we want to specify the type. So in a normal form, you would specify the type. It's either get or post. We're going to use post. In this case, we want to say URL, so we want to tell the Ajax where to send this document. In this case, we want to say load.php. So that's the file that Ajax is going to open up and send our data. We've used a comma and then we've entered data, so that's going to be what we're actually going to be sending over to load.php through the post method. Now we're going to do curly bracket again, and comma. Within the curly bracket, we're going to say page, colon, and we're going to say link name. But now we're going to have to specify our what to do on success. What we want to do is add successful, actually just success, colon, and then we want to say, we want to call a function, double brackets, single curly bracket to finish it, semicolon. And we want to pass, so on success, we have to take the value from success, and we're going to give that, let's call that return page. There we go. So that there is going to be the return from the PHP file. So this can be, so on the PHP file, what you can do is something like echo something, and whatever that PHP file echoes back, it's going to come back to through Ajax, that echo, and it's going to come up in this success function variable right there. You can add more variables, but that requires other methods. So on success, we're going to be doing just a simple HTML insert type of function. So to do so, we're going to specify $, double bracket, .html, double bracket, semicolon. And then we're going to type in single quote, ID of content, and we're going to insert the return page. And it says that we have an error somewhere. Okay, so I'm getting an error, semicolon there when I was not supposed to. So that should be the basics there. Okay, so let's just save that. And let's go on and create our PHP file that we need. I've already specified the opening tag and closing tag for PHP, and I've called the file load.php, so it corresponds with our previous document. Okay, I'm just going to show you something, how to do this quite the simple way. I would recommend you doing this dynamically with using a database like MySQL, but this is sort of like statically hard-coded. It's not the best thing, but for our demo, for a PHP demo part, it's absolutely fine. So we're taking on the variable that we sent from our home document. Let's see, where is it? There it is. We said page, and then page is going to equal to the link name, and the link name is part of the function, and that link name is going to get its actual name from the onClick. So when we onClick the home, it's going to onClick. It's going to request this function. It's going to pass over this variable called home. Then it's going to create an Ajax request. It's going to load up load.php, and it's going to send over a page with the name of home. And then on success, it's going to take whatever is echoed back and insert it into the HTML field called content. So that's right here. And it's going to insert whatever it receives back on success. And then on our load function, you just delete all of that. So here it says if the document has been requested through post, for example our Ajax request, it will continue on. And then it goes, if the post page is home, then display this. Else, if it's details, echo this. Else, if it's equals to shop, then do this. You can keep on going down the list, but I do recommend you inserting all this information in a database, MySQL, and doing it that way, because this way it's not efficient. That's it. And that's the basic PHP, so to save that. So here's a little debug screen. We hit the home button. You can clearly see it's requested a post to load up PHP, and it was all fine. And on success, it echoed it back onto the page. That's all done dynamically through Ajax. The page is never refreshed. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, how we use the basic Ajax function. Thank you for stopping by and watching my video. I'm David from digitalbuy.com. This is video number 2, how to use simple jQuery's Ajax function. Make sure you check out digitalbuy.com/content, where I will be writing up an article where it's got all the code, hard code, where you'll be able to copy it, put it into your document, and go along with this video. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.